then asked if Garp could kill his former #1 protege to save his new favorite. Garp broke out, reminded Kuzan of his teachings to live in the now, and said only weaklings lose their way. He then grabbed Kuzan by the face and
Men who waver are weak! Come on, Blue Hole!
slammed him through the ground with Blue Hole. During the ensuing conflict, Garp threw Sanwan Wolf into the sea. Vasco Shot attacked Garp with his Shugo Rapu, flaming alcohol. Garp used 2 pirates as shields. Avalo Pizarro, merged with the island, asked Garp if he planned on decimating the entire island.
Drunken Spitfire! Pirate Fireball!
Rear Admiral Kujaku informed Garp that Hibari was defrosted and the evacuees were setting out. Garp told Kobe, Prince Gruss, and Helmeppo to retreat. Kuzan, recovered from Blue Hole, told Garp he could not let him leave. As Helmeppo and Gruss reacted, Garp ordered the 3 to make for the sea at all costs while he held off the enemy. Kobe, hearing a woman scream, rushed to help but found it was a setup. Garp saved Kobe from Shiryu, who tried to stab Kobe while invisible, the sword going through Garp instead. Though hurt, Garp punched Shiryu, slamming him to the ground and defeating him. Kobe apologized, but Garp explained Shiryu was aiming for him. Kuzan rushed forward, stating that even if Garp's arms and legs were bound, they could not kill him, and prepared to use Ice Glove. Kuzan told Garp he raised a troublesome enemy. Garp told Kuzan he was done with him, calling him a foolish student, and they struck each other with hockey-coated fists, creating a huge shockwave. Pizarro, from the island, declared the Marines' escape hopes were slim, and demonstrated his power by morphing part of the island into a giant hand to crush Garp's ship. Kobe begged him to stop. Garp told Kobe to calm down, stating justice will always prevail. Garp explained his plan. He would provide an opening. Kobe would destroy Pizarro's hand, Gruz would protect the ship from debris, and Helmeppo would ensure no one interfered. He told Kobe they needed to make such decisions in a snap. Garp stood.
This is just a scratch. Sounds soft to me. Get it.
Kuzan asked where Garp planned to go with his injuries, but Garp called them scratches, charged at Kuzan, knocked him down, and made his way to the large skull rock. Pizarro tried to intimidate Garp but failed. Garp used Galaxy Divide, splitting the rock formation and damaging Pizarro's main body.
Everyone's lives are depending on me.
With Pizarro's arm raised, Kobe was granted his opening and jumped. Kobe unleashed Honesty Impact, a punch that split Pizarro's entire hand in half, causing Pizarro to recoil from the pain. Garp instructed everyone to leave the island, assuring them he could save himself and that their safety was top priority. He called them the future of the Marine. Kobe wanted to go back, but Gruss refused to disobey Garp's order. Garp, having been impaled by Kuzan with a sword of ice that was also freezing him, lay on the ground but simply laughed as the other Blackbeard pirates surrounded him. The hero of the Marines had accomplished his mission, ensuring Kobe's escape at great personal cost. As the situation on Egghead Island reached its critical phase, one of the most unexpected and emotionally charged battles unfolded between two characters with a shared history: Captain Sentomaru of the Science Division and his former mentor, Admiral Kizaru, with the Marines intensifying their assault on Egghead. To eliminate Dr. Vegapunk, Kizaru arrived as the spearhead of this operation. His mission was clear: silence Vegapunk at any cost. But standing in his way was Sentomaru, the scientist's loyal bodyguard and a man who once trained under Kizaru himself. Kizaru, using his Pika Pika no Mi ability, Yada no Kagami, just zips across the sea at light speed, aiming to breach the island's defenses instantly. But Sentomaru is right there, intercepting him the moment Kizaru sets foot, or Lightfoot, on the island. Luffy, sensing this sudden, immense power spike, even notes that someone strong has arrived. He knows this isn't just some random vice admiral. Kizaru doesn't waste any time. He immediately kicks Sentomaru, sending him flying far away. It's a display of his incredible speed and force, a clear attempt to remove Sentomaru as an obstacle as quickly as possible. Despite being launched, Sentomaru is not out of the fight. He's tough. Kizaru then follows up with his Yasakani no Magatama, unleashing that signature barrage of countless light beams raining down on Sentomaru. While he's firing this devastating attack, Kizaru tells Sentomaru he should just surrender, repeating an earlier suggestion he made. Sentomaru, however, is running from Kizaru's attack, but he's not giving up. He defiantly declares that he gave his word to the Straw Hats that he would fend Kizaru off. He even states that he will side with anyone who offers to help Dr. Vegapunk escape safely. His loyalty to Vegapunk is absolute, overriding any past allegiance to the Marines or even Kizaru himself. Gathering his strength, Sentomaru grabs his massive axe and jumps into the air, ready to re-engage, preparing to continue the fight despite facing an admiral. Kizaru, seeing Sentomaru's unwavering determination and his willingness to ally with pirates, seems somewhat puzzled. He asks Sentomaru when he became friends with pirates, highlighting how unusual and, from a Marine perspective, problematic this alliance is. There's a brief flashback showing Dr. Vegapunk meeting a younger Sentomaru. Sentomaru was tasked with dealing with some bears, and Vegapunk, impressed or amused by his onigiri preference, hired him as a bodyguard. Kizaru acknowledges teaching Sentomaru how to fight back then, a nod to their past mentor-student relationship. Back in the present fight, Sentomaru actually manages to land a hit on Kizaru with a Shikushi palm attack, presumably his Ashigara Dokoi. Kizaru endures the blow, showing his durability, or perhaps his Logia intangibility, just nullifying the damage. He then retaliates. Kizaru blasts Sentomaru to the ground. His power is simply overwhelming for Sentomaru's defenses, and this attack effectively defeats him in this direct exchange. It's important to note, though, that even though defeated and rendered unconscious here, Sentomaru's protective nature didn't just switch off. Later on, it's mentioned that he actually caught Jewelry Bonnie after she hit the Frontier Dome's barrier and fell, a final act of protection even in his incapacitated state, before he passed out again. That shows the kind of man Sentomaru is. His defeat was a critical blow to Egghead's defenses, and paved the way for Kizaru to press his advantage. The battle between Sentomaru and Kizaru served as a poignant reminder of how the world government's corruption forces good people into opposition, turning former allies and even family against each other, in the name of conflicting visions of justice. The culmination of the Egghead arc's battles arrived with the long-awaited confrontation between Monkey D. Luffy and Admiral Kizaru, one of the Marine's most deadly weapons. This wasn't just any fight, it represented Luffy's first full-scale battle against an admiral since the time skip, and a chance to measure how far he had come since being effortlessly defeated by the same opponent at Sabaody Archipelago years earlier. After dispatching Sentomaru and taking control of the pacifista units, Kizaru proceeded deeper into Egghead Island, determined to complete his mission of eliminating Dr. Vegapunk. As eliminating Dr. Vegapunk, Vegapunk makes a critical observation. Kizaru, being made of literal light thanks to his Pika Pika no Mi, can just waltz past the island's laser barrier defenses like they're not even there, and that's exactly what he does. The moment Kizaru slips inside the lava phase, emergency sirens start blaring. The fox is in the henhouse. Kizaru, now inside, immediately locates Vega Force 1, that giant robot where some of the Straw Hats, including Luffy, were gathered near their ship, the Thousand Sunny. He's not exactly welcomed with open arms.
Yeah, 久しぶり。行儀が悪いね。
キザル、俺たちは2年前の100倍強えぞ。
The second he's in range, Luffy is on him, wasting zero time and delivering a swift kick. Kizaru, with that signature infuriating calm, blocks Luffy's kick, seemingly without much effort at first. It's like swatting a fly for him, or so it seems. But Luffy, he's not the same kid Kizaru slapped around on Sabaody. He tells Kizaru, straight up, that he and his crew are 100 times stronger than they were 2 years ago. This isn't going to be a repeat performance. The confidence is just radiating off, and to prove his point, Luffy immediately transforms, going into Gear 4th, Snake Man, ready for a high-speed brawl. In his Snake Man form, Luffy unleashes a barrage of rapid-fire punches, Python and Black Mamba flying. Kizaru, showing his Admiral-level skill, blocks Luffy's punches, defending himself against the relentless assault. This isn't a one-sided beatdown for Luffy either. During this exchange, Kizaru actually admits, out loud, that Luffy has become a truly formidable opponent since defeating Kaido. He's acknowledging Luffy's insane growth in power. That's big, coming from an admiral. Kizaru then asks Luffy why he's protecting Dr. Vegapunk, questioning his motives for getting involved with a prime world government target. Luffy, never one to back down from a verbal spar, immediately retorts, asking Kizaru why he wants to kill Vegapunk anyway, basically calling out Kizaru's blind obedience. Following this sharp exchange, Kizaru, using his light speed, warps far away from Luffy, instantly creating a massive distance between them. He's playing it smart, and in a rare moment of internal thought from Kizaru, we get a glimpse behind the shades. He admits he doesn't personally want to kill Vegapunk, because he's known the old scientist for a long time, but he resigns himself. He has no choice. Orders are orders. With that, he turns his focus back to Luffy, and moving with blinding speed, Kizaru kicks Luffy and kicks him hard. This kick is no joke. Luffy is sent flying and collides with Vega Force 1, the giant robot, with such force that he completely destroys it. The impact doesn't stop there. Luffy is then sent careening into the Frontier Dome's barrier, that high-tech security system around the lava phase. The Thousand Sunny, which was being held by Vega Force 1, comes crashing down as the robot is obliterated. Frankie, Bonnie, and Lilith, who were nearby, have to run for their lives to escape the explosion and falling debris. Kizaru then confronts Bonnie and Lilith near the wreckage. He comments on how much Bonnie has grown since he last saw her, and then asks her why she's getting in his way of killing Vegapunk, especially since she's supposed to hate the Doctor for what he did to her father, Kuma. Bonnie, however, is full of fire. She grabs a nearby wire and uses a technique Toshi Tatsugeki, declaring that her target has now shifted to Kizaru. She's not backing down. Kizaru, with his insane speed and observation haki, easily dodges Bonnie's attack. He then tells her not to make him hurt anyone else he knows, implying a past connection or concern for her as well, which is interesting. And then, just like he did with Luffy, he kicks Bonnie, sending her flying into the barrier as well, taking her out of the immediate fight. Frankie, seeing his crewmates attack, attempts to retaliate, charging up a radical beam, but Kizaru, true to his light fruit nature, just disappears from his sight before Frankie can fire. Meanwhile, Dr. Vegapunk and his satellites, Edison and Atlas, manage to crack the code to the Frontier Dome, creating a potential escape route. But just as this hope emerges, Kizaru reappears, this time at the control tower where Vegapunk is. Kizaru appears right before Dr. Vegapunk, telling the old scientist that his plans have been foiled. He even says that this mission is tough on him personally, and he doesn't want to prolong it. It seems like he's about to make his move on Vegapunk. However, before Kizaru can act against his old acquaintance, Luffy reappears, having recovered with incredible speed from that massive hit. And Luffy isn't just back, he's powered up. He immediately reactivates Gear 5th, transforming back into his awakened Nika form, the drums of liberation beating loud. Luffy then uses his Gomu Gomu no Giant technique, growing to an immense, towering size. In his giant Nika form, Luffy reaches out and grabs Kizaru with his massive hand, completely interrupting Kizaru's confrontation with Vegapunk. The tables have turned drastically. The sound of Luffy's Gear 5th heartbeat, those drums of liberation, actually resonates down to the Fabrio phase, and in response, the ancient Iron Giant down there begins to activate. That's a huge lore drop right there. Luffy, in his giant playful Nika form, starts swinging Kizaru around like he's a toy. The sheer disrespect, the sheer power difference in this moment is insane! Eventually, Luffy throws Kizaru far away from the control tower, creating a crucial window of opportunity for the Straw Hats and Vegapunk to make their escape. Vegapunk's group, with Sanji and Atlas, immediately heads towards the Fabrio phase to get out, while Luffy stays behind in the Lava phase area. While Luffy is still engaging Kizaru, we get a quick cut to Zoro, who is seen battling Lucci nearby. Luffy even briefly calls out to Zoro, checking if he needs any help, but Zoro, ever the badass, just tells Luffy to focus on Kizaru. Kizaru, despite being thrown with incredible force, manages to avoid falling into the sea. He's an admiral, after all. He then uses his Yasakani no Magatama again, those countless light beams, but this time, he uses them to propel himself back to the island at light speed, rejoining the fight with Luffy almost instantly. Once back and having caught up to Luffy, Kizaru pulls a new trick. He turns his individual light particles into tangible copies of himself. These light clones all wield Ama no Murakumo, his light-made sword. These light copies all attack Luffy. Surprisingly, they actually manage to cause some minor damage to Luffy, even in his incredibly durable Gear 5th Nika form. Luffy responds to Kizaru's clone attack by using Gomu Gomu no Dawn Whip, destroying a few of the light copies with a sweeping attack. Luffy then makes a run for it, seemingly trying to evade the remaining clones, with the light copies chasing after him. But Luffy, always thinking a few steps ahead, reveals he was actually lining them up. He planned to hit them all at once with another powerful attack, Gomu Gomu no Dawn Stamp. However, much to Luffy's misfortune, he realizes too late Kizaru used those light copies as a distraction, a clever move by the Admiral. While Luffy was occupied with the clones, Kizaru had already returned to the control tower. And at the tower, Kizaru grabs Usopp, who was crucial for their communications and coordinating the escape. This is a bad situation. Kizaru then realizes Dr. Vegapunk is no longer present at the control tower. Both he and Luffy then see Vegapunk, Atlas, and Sanji making their escape on the Vegatank 8. Kizaru, seeing his primary target getting away, immediately tries to blast Vegapunk on the escape vehicle. Luffy, however, in an incredible display of Nika's bizarre powers, actually eats the laser shot meant for Vegapunk, completely nullifying Kizaru's attack and saving his friend. You can't make this stuff up. The Marines are then informed that Vegapunk has successfully left the Lava phase. Atlas, now down in the Fabrio phase, issues a new command to the Pacifista, ordering them to annihilate all the Marines on the island. Thanks to Atlas, the Pacifistas begin attacking the Marine forces, adding another layer of chaos that Kizaru and the world government forces have to deal with, just as the battles raged across Egghead. a sinister presence descended upon the island, chilling everyone to the bone. What appeared to be a massive, demonic summoning circle formed on the ground, and from its depths emerged St. J. Garcia Saturn, one of the 5 elders, the highest authority in the world government. He immediately orders the Pachifistas to stop their rampage, while Sanji's group, escaping with Vegapunk, is momentarily distracted by Saturn's sudden and terrifying appearance. Kizaru seizes the opportunity. He destroys the cloud road they were using for their escape, causing the Vegatank 8 to fall. Luffy, despite his own mounting exhaustion from maintaining Gear 5th, finally catches up to Kizaru again, and Luffy hits Kizaru hard. He lands a devastating blow to the side of Kizaru's head with a move called Gomu Gomu no Star Gun. Even Kizaru, an admiral of the Marines, realizes that this attack has hurt him badly. He's staggered. Unfortunately for Luffy, pushing his Gear 5th form to these limits, fighting an admiral non-stop, has consequences. He has reached his limit. Luffy changes back to his normal form and falls to the ground, nearly unconscious from the immense strain and energy depletion. The Vegatank 8, after its fall, also hits the ground and breaks, though thankfully, everyone inside is reported to be okay. Saturn then appears before the fallen group. He coldly comments on Kizaru taking too long to complete his mission. Dr. Vegapunk, recognizing Saturn, could only listen in horror as the Elder declared his disappointment in Vegapunk's betrayal and his intention for everyone present to die in the most painful manner possible for defying the world government. But then, a flash of pure, unadulterated rage. Jewelry Bonnie, thoughts of her father, Bartholomew Kuma consuming her, grabbed a nearby katana and plunged it into Saturn's chest, tears streaming down her face. The impact, however, had little effect. Saturn, with an unnerving calm, ordered the Marines to stand down, stating he could have dodged if he wished. He forced Bonnie off him with a psychic emission from his eyes, grabbing her and pulling the sword from his chest. The wound instantly healed, leaving Frankie stunned at the Elder's terrifying regenerative abilities. Sanji, attempting to intervene, was also struck down by the same invisible force, collapsing beside Bonnie. As Saturn tightened his grip on Bonnie, causing her immense pain, he revealed a chilling truth. Kuma was born a slave, a member of the Buccaneers, a race now extinct due to a grave crime. He then held Bonnie aloft, ordering the Marines to aim for her head as Sanji and Vegapunk screamed for him to stop. No one could move, held down by Saturn's mysterious devil fruit power. The battle for Egghead Island had just reached its most terrifying phase. An emperor, a warlord's daughter, and the world's smartest man stood against an elder of the 5 elders, a figure whose power and cruelty had only just begun to be revealed. The true nightmare of the world government had arrived.